Hello and welcome to another psychic investigation. And this time we're going to be looking at the secrets and lies around the sinking of the Titan. You've got the date, haven't you, for the Titan went down
Yeah.
in...
So it went missing on June the 18th, 2023.
Wow. And it was a big thing, a huge thing, for so many reasons. Because it went down in such a famous place, because of its got famous name, the Titan, named after the Titanic, and just everything around it. In the same way that the Titanic gripped people, that's gripped people. And as it's developed and gone further, and more stuff's come out, there's so much coming up about the company, Ocean Gate, about the man, Stockton Rush, is it?
Yep.
Documentaries, etc. So we thought we'd pull some cards looking at different aspects of it and see if we can make sense of at least some of what was going on.
Yeah. So should we start unpicking?
Unpicking what, Gary?
Unpicking it all.
One of the theories that we both had at the time, and I did do a video on my other channel, Claire Thackeray, was that these people that went down in this, what was that? A bang in the
wind.
These people
Stockton?
that, yeah, interesting. Interesting, because that did sound like a...
You just say it went bang.
Interesting. These people that went down were the reincarnation of people that were on the traditional Titanic, and possibly were the ones that drove it and faster than it should have been, pushed it. We definitely think Stockton Rush, is it?
Yeah, well, we thought...
Bruce Ismay.
Yeah. What we're thinking, I think what you're trying to get is people who survived the
Who
Titanic.
survived.
That they actually got off, and they weren't supposed to, maybe.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Or they haven't been able to rest for whatever reason. Now we know that Stockton Rush, I'm sure that's his name,
Yeah.
was Bruce Ismay. We've said in a previous video with Channeling Dodi Fayed that the young Asian lad in it, I always forget his name, how rude, he was Dodi Fayed. And I remember Dodi saying that he worked in another incarnation on Titanic, strangely enough, obviously, in the coal bunkers. And we didn't really look at it in great detail. But I wonder if in that lifetime, Dodi was one of the chief, let's call it coal people, in the bunkers of that ship that were going faster, 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 panging as much coal as you can. Because allegedly, according to, some people, he had that tendency in cars and possibly had that tendency the night that he crashed with Diana, Princess of Wales. So there is a lot going on, isn't there? Let's go into it. So, and in the documentary that we watched last night, it was almost like Stockton. There was no stopping him. He needed to get to that ship, even though numerous people said it's not safe.
Yeah, it was all the engineers, anybody who had any kind of scientific knowledge on construction of the submersible, they all said, "Stop, we please stop, because this isn't right." And he was adamant that his carbon fibre hull would succeed, and everybody else said, "No, it's not," and they were wrong. And the documentary seemed to infer that everybody else associated with Ocean Gate didn't agree with him. But it also showed all the people that got fired or went or, decided not to keep going with it because it kept on going. But there were still people there, weren't they, when it went pop? He weren't there on his own.
Yeah.
Like you said, there was a ship, there was a support ship, there was a captain of that ship, there was his wife, all the leaders of Ocean Gate. So they all conspired with him, didn't they?
Yeah.
They all couldn't let go because I don't know if did they just spend too much money and they just couldn't stop. It's like when you go to a casino and you get down to your last 10p or whatever, and you just can't stop. You just got to keep going. I've got to make this money back. I don't know.
But I will say with Titanic as well, very similar.
Well, yeah, they were short of money, and
Also as well, Stockton's wife was the great-great-granddaughter of the Macy owners that went down with the Titanic, the old couple. So there is a lot here. So why was Stockton Rush so pulled to go down to Titanic? What was pulling him? What was pulling Stockton Rush?
No. Wait.
What was pulling Stockton Rush back to the Titanic? Okay, interesting. We've got the Magician at the bottom. We'll put pictures up so you can see the cards. They've got the Magician at the bottom, upright. All the tools on the table to do it. Needing to manifest something. Seven of Wands. I know you can't see it, but you'll see it up there. In reverse, because of the judgment of being Bruce Ismay, the judgment, the needing to release that judgment, but not just, everything around it, needing to get out of it. I need to get, and you may think, well, the thing is, by doing it, it's now got more judgment by being the owner of the Titan. So he's in trying to clear one lifetime, he's got it all.
Arse over tit.
Yeah.
Basically, he's gone one way, and he's gone the other.
Well, it could have been that it was meant to set up the Titan and actually listen to the officials this time and go and make peace with that. Keep pulling. King of Wands in reverse. Being unstoppable. Not knowing or being able to use his energy in the right way. Ace of Cups, very cold. The Knight of Cups, his wish. A ruthlessness, and the Devil. There's also ego here as well. You had these unrealistic visions, needing to release the past. We've got there. The Queen of Wands, so that he can go forward. He's a mess, and the Knight of Wands. In trying to, it's like what we've said, in trying to clear one lifetime, has he caused it for himself? Has he cleared the Titanic lifetime? The Sun, but he's got the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck in reverse, and I'll put that there just so you can see that. We'll take a picture. Do you want to take a picture of it?
Oh, you can now, can't you?
So I'll take a picture of these so you can see them above our heads.
My stomach then.
You stop rumbling. So it's almost like he's scratched an itch to get back there, but he has accumulated himself more stuff to clear.
Do you not think it's karma though? That he was the owner of the Titanic, and if you believe the stories or the film, he was instigated in pushing that Titanic on faster. Need to get the blue ribbon. Need to get to New York on time. Don't give a crap about icebergs and whatever. You're captain. You get us there safely. Not knowing that they wouldn't have time to change course because they were going too fast.
Yeah.
And the fact that potentially there were issues with the Titanic. Potentially.
Yeah. And there was issues with the Titan that was in that documentary last night that it did keep cracking. And it wasn't good under pressure.
There was rumours that the Titanic had a fire and it had damaged the hull. And it was technically still on fire even though it was going because they couldn't get to it. So it was a damaged part of the hull that, it was structurally unsound. And obviously with the Titan, it was the same, wasn't it? They couldn't test it because of the weather, and they left it out in the winter, out on the side on the dock, and he weren't supposed to leave it out in the cold because any water in there would crack the hull. So, was it karma that dragged him out there? That he needed to go down.
Yeah.
He needed to go down where the Titanic is. Yeah. He needed to die there.
And I think as well, we don't learn everything in one event. So there's still going to be, I always say, like the gift that keeps on giving. So there's still going to be things to learn from this whole experience for him in future incarnations.
Because there's part in the documentary where they had the sub driver. Was he Scottish? He had like a Scottish accent, didn't he? And they went on another expedition, didn't they? Did they go down to Titanic then, or did they go down to another? I think they went down to another wreck.
One, and he was like,
and he wouldn't let the submersible driver, the professional driver, drive the boat. I'm going to do it, and he got him into all kinds of pickle, apparently. And the submersible driver, luckily, he said, "No, I'm coming with you." And he got them out of the issue, and he got them up safe. And I don't think they ever got on after that because it's like he showed him up, as it were. But it makes me wonder whether that was him knowing that he was always going to go down, wanting to take that submersible down, and knowing that he'll go down and he'll go down with that ship.
Because there is a thing in him. I know he wasn't the captain. But there is a thing in it where like the senior people on that ship are technically meant to go down with it. They should technically be the last ones on that ship. If anyone's going to be on that ship at last, it really does have to be the senior people, to be quite honest. But he didn't. He jumped. He literally jumped ship.
You see, these are my lifeboats. I'm getting on. You know what I mean? I own everything. I own all these lifeboats. If anybody's going to use one, I'm going to use one.
Look at Bruce Ismay's date of birth. Just because I like to get nosy. Bruce Ismay.
I think I did look at it.
Bruce Ismay, J. Bruce Ismay, 12th of December, 1862. And he died on the 17th of October, 1937. Stockton.
Oh, David Lockridge was the guy, I think. The submersible pilot.
31st of March. Interesting.
And it was just interesting how the weather seemed to stop other people from going down in it. And it waited until the right people were on board the sub. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the mother was supposed to go with the husband, but this child went instead.
Yeah.
And it was all like that Final Destination film, wasn't it?
But
fate was dragging them back.
The mother could also have a past life on there where she's another one that jumped ship or whatever, or was in the design or whatever, because she's now lost two people. She's now feeling the grief of losing someone in that area.
Possibly. Or it could have been the other way around. There could have been a family back then, but she was the husband and he was the wife, and the wife and the child got off. And the husband stayed behind and went down with the ship. And this time she stayed on top.
Yeah.
And they went down. Potentially. So they could have been a family.
It is fascinating. There was also
the French guy, that Nigel, he was just obsessed with Titanic, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well,
he
they all
was absolutely obsessed. He'd been down numerous times.
Yeah. None of them could really get peace. Especially the main, like Nasraj and Paul Henry, like Henry Paul, and the name Henry Paul, he died with Dodie in that car crash. But the fella in the Titan was called Paul Henry, spelt Henry, Henri. I mean, wow. I want to look at what it was like, what actually caused the Titan to... Ooh, okay, interesting. No, should we see if we can pull on what caused the Titan to implode? What caused the Titan to implode? There was I've been shown some wires in it, and there was a leakage. Something was leaking around these wires. So was it leaking water in?
Well, the guy they had a YouTuber on, didn't they?
Yeah.
And he said it was like condensing out,
Yeah.
but that's probably the water from people's breath was condensing on the glass, and it was like water inside.
Ooh.
But
4 of Swords in reverse. When I saw that card, it just felt as though this was dead energy. That there was, because if you watches a lot, you'll know that there's always many reasons why. It's not just one simple answer, but there's dead, dense energy down there, grief energy, collective pain energy. I've also said in other incarnations, in other videos, that there's the Atlantean energy down there as well. But it's almost like the dead have claimed them as well. The Tower in reverse, an implosion, something that came from within. Ace of Swords in reverse. The Fool, somebody not wanting to look at something. Oh, I hope this ain't true. Because one of the I don't know if I've already said this in a video, or if it's a vision I keep having where the young lad got anxious down there and started to have a panic attack. And like you do when you're in panic, you want to get out, let me get out, let me get out. And there's been a scuffle and energy, physical altercation, blow something. If they've had a mechanical problem down there, oh, I hope not, because that must have been horrible. Justice in reverse. Not listening to the professionals. Death and rebirth. That's the past life connection. King of Swords. King of Cups, unkindness. Oh, I hope not, because that'd just be brutal, that. Yeah. I think something possibly happened with that young lad, you know. I think possibly something went wrong with it. Because I've also now seen like a flickering of lights. The young lad gets anxious. It's not that he caused it. It was going to happen anyway. But Stockton wasn't kind. Oh, God. So then that's the dad that'll jump in. Show me the energy in that boat, in the Titan, just before it goes down, just before it. Show me the energy. Show me the energy. The wish. Somebody holding on at all cost. What, Gary? Ian?
No, I'm just reading Google, and it's saying here that John Jacob Astor, one of the richest men in the world, perished in the disaster, and he didn't, did he?
Yeah.
I thought he said he didn't.
I said he did.
Who survived then?
I think his wife survived. His young wife survived.
Who's it? There was a rich man who survived. Who was that? I got confused.
There's a lot of rich men on there.
No, the owner of it.
Bruce Ismay wasn't the owner of it.
Was he not?
Right, the rich men who survived the Titanic. Rich men.
Sorry, I've got my names mixed up.
Bruce Ismay, the managing director of the White Star Line, who faced public criticism
That's all, yeah.
Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon, Charles Lightoller, and R. Norris Williams.
What, they were survivors?
Yeah. Bloody hell. That Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon, he survived. He got off in the first lifeboat.
Mm-hmm.
Me, myself, and I.
Who's he, sorry?
So he was Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon.
Oh, yeah. Sportsman as well.
Why? One of them.
He says he were a sportsman here.
Oh,
Cosmo
yeah.
Duff Gordon
Was that the Hamish one?
was a prominent Englishman and sportsman who owned land in Scotland, best known. Yeah, he escaped the Titanic. 22nd July 1862 he was born.
Hamish. Titan. Hamish Harding. What were dates?
He was born 22nd July 1862 and died 20th of April 1931. No link.
There doesn't always have to be a link.
No, I'm just, sometimes
But
it's a good...
businessman, pilot, adventurer, based in the United... This is Hamish Harding.
Well, this is what this guy was. He was a sportsman, so that was generally an adventureman back in the day.
Yeah, so... Cosmo Duff Gordon, let's have a look at his picture.
A fencer.
There is a similarity in them. So if we go to those rich men, so that's Hamish. We've got Bruce Ismay, Cosmo Duff Gordon, R. Norris Williams. Let's have a look at him.
Archibald Gracie the Fourth.
There'll be loads of them on there. Because there will have been more rich people survived that than there would have been poor. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're an American writer, this fella.
I took a picture of that one, didn't I? Let's keep going. Let's keep the
Did
video
you do that
flowing.
one? No, I don't think you did that one.
I'm sure I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't take a picture of that one.
I did.
Okay.
So what we...
I stand corrected.
What are we looking at next?
Are we looking at, was Rushton a scapegoat?
Oh yes, because there's a feeling that, well, when it went down and went missing, the first thing they kind of should have done was, in my eyes, is rung the emergency services. But they left it 8 hours. And we were discussing this morning, and we feel that that is because they knew it wasn't insured. They knew it wasn't insured for passengers, and they knew that they'd possibly get into trouble and it would open a can of worms. So was there a part of them that was like, you know what, he may come back, he may have just gone off grid or whatever, it'll be fine. Or was there, you know, if ever I go off whatever, don't you be ringing the, you know, because you get in trouble. So Stockton Rush, is he a scapegoat?
What was he? Was he the dictator of Ocean Gate, or has this documentary seemed to point the finger at him, that it was all his idea, it was him, all him, he made all the decisions, and he kept it going.
Reverse and Ace of Cups.
Which is where we think, well, if you're destined to die at Titanic, that's a good way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but if it isn't that, and people are now all saying, "Oh, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault," wouldn't they do that? Wouldn't they just? He's dead, isn't he? He's not going to stand up for himself.
There's money issues with him. There's money issues.
Well, there were constantly money issues because it was all cost cut, cost cut, cost cut, cost cut, cost cut, wasn't it? That was the business. They couldn't make any money until they got any passengers. Technically, they weren't allowed to take any passengers. They had to work.
Show
for
me
them.
his energy. Show me his energy in the business. The main theme of Stockton's energy in Ocean Gate. Page of Swords. 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Should pop that there so you can see it. Money issues. Not coming from his heart. Struggles to get on with people. It's very, very what they said.
Did he have the dream? Was he a naive man that he had this dream that he'd use this carbon fibre hull, that it'd be the wonder, and he'll make his millions, he'd make his name on this, and he couldn't get out of that. No matter how many people told him this isn't going to work, this isn't working, we're not proving this. And even that the submarine driver, he said, submersible driver, he said we should be using unmanned. Nobody should be going down in this because you've not proven it. And he still went down in it, didn't he? And no matter how many times things went wrong, they just cracked on with it. They did a scale model and it breached. But they carried on making the full thing.
Because his soul needed to get down there
I think it did.
And nobody could understand him. He had a one-track mind. He was determined it was his creation to see it through to the end, in order to see that incarnation out through the end. He didn't like authorities. He didn't trust authorities. The Hierophant in reverse. Show me the team.
Need to take a photo of that.
Yeah, show me the energy of the Ocean Gate team now towards Stockton Rush. Well, Hanged Man says I'm parting the deck, so they want him as a fall guy. They're throwing everything at him. Queen of Wands in reverse, and the Fool at the bottom in reverse. The Hermit keeping their heads down. I would say they all have played their part in it, and they're throwing that out to try and, like, other cases in the past.
What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word that you use when you just let people do what they want to do. Say somebody who's overweight and you just keep feeding them, you're a feeder. But there's a word, what's that word? Where you...
I don't know. Enabler?
Enabler. They enabled him to just carry on doing what he was doing. And his destiny was to die down with Titanic. And they enabled that. So they was just as guilty as him. Somebody should have stopped him.
Yeah.
He was on a crusade to death, I think. He didn't know it. He didn't know it. He just had an idea in his head, and he couldn't get it out of his head, and he was right. Everybody else is wrong, I'm right. But the subconscious of that was, he needed to get out there. And he did everything he could to make sure that sub went down.
There's going to be an incarnation coming in future for him where he actually goes out and gives guidance on ship safety and sea vessel safety, and that's how he's going to help to clear all of it, because he's going to come down as the good guy, and he's going to be one of these big sticklers for safety at sea.
Jobsworth.
Yeah. He's going to be
an ex-Jobsworth.
He's going to be a sea Jobsworth,
Yeah.
and that's what he's coming back to do. Because he's still, like I said, he's not going to just be able to clear Bruce Ismay in one lifetime. He's halfway there, but he's also got other stuff to mop up. And then he comes back as the seaworthy Jobsworth to clear something.
Now, the ultimate question then is, we think we've cleared up Rushton and his destiny to go down there, and that everybody will jump on the bandwagon and point the finger at him, even though they enabled him to do what he did. What about these other people then? Were they supposed to be there? Was it their destiny to be on that sub, or were they hoodwinked? Are they victims of this?
Physically.
Is this new karma now? That these are new victims of, like the victims of the Titanic were victims. Are these new victims of now on Rushton's on his karma? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Physically, yes, they are. On paper, yes, they are his victims. But at an energetic level, depending how evolved their spirit is, they will know or eventually be shown that they were meant to be there to clear their own stuff. Because you know what I'm also being told is it's very unnatural for humans to want to go down into that depths. I love Titanic. I could talk about Titanic all day, every day. But I could not get in that submersible and go down to it. I even struggle in the Titanic museums. So to get in those and go down to it, there is a deep connection there. Possibly a morbid connection, but let's pull on it.
Well, there's that French guy. I've forgotten his. I can't pronounce his name. I do apologise. He was besotted with Titanic. He'd been down there numerous times, hadn't they?
Yeah.
So you are besotted with Titanic. He was probably, because he'd not just gone down once. He'd gone down numerous times. And he was the expert. He was the guide.
Yeah.
Telling everybody where everything is. He's pointing out portholes and saying, "Oh, that's the dining room, and that's Joe Blogg's cabin, and that's," you know what I mean. He knew it off by heart as if he'd lived on it, which he probably had.
What was his name? He wasn't the French one. He was the French one.
He was the French one. He was the diver. He was an ex-naval diver, I think he was.
So the other souls involved in that Titan, how do they feel now in relation to Stockton Rush and that whole event? How do they feel?
I mean, are they annoyed with him or are they grateful? Because they were meant to go down there as well. Maybe they all meant to go there.
It will have been. You're never just somewhere by accident.
And that's why it was so quick. So that's the merciful thing, isn't it? That they weren't stuck down there and died a really horrible death of lack of oxygen or whatever.
Two of lovers, healing at the bottom, upright. Crossroads. Death and rebirth, upright. Releasing the deceit, releasing the burden. It's almost like I can be who I'm meant to be now, if that makes sense. 8 of Wands in reverse, but there is still stuff to, like with him, Stockton, there's always going to be stuff to. Heartbreak in reverse, releasing the heartbreak, finding their strength. The Chariot in reverse. I think some of them will never want to step foot on a ship again in their lives. The Moon, the Illusion, and 2 of Cups, which is alignment. So there's going to be lasting effects in relation to, there's always going to be a call of interest of Titanic or whatever, but they're not up there, I don't think, seething with Stockton Rush.
No.
Let me take a picture. And that, 2 of Pentacles is about making peace, balancing. Rectifying a wrong, the 7 of... Let me do a clarifier for that. The 7 of Swords. Clarifier.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long weekend. Yeah, it's been a long weekend. Warm as well, isn't it?
Working through the mental conflict, the sleepless nights, and self-confidence. How are their souls now? How are they now? Still healing, but we've got the Five of Pentacles out in the cold energy, needing to work on self-worth and hierarchy. That again is like the rich and the powerful and the wealthy at the bottom of the deck. So they're on their way to healing. They're not. I don't think they're in heaven hating on each other, dissing each other. I think there'll be a sadness from their current incarnations at that loss. The French guy at the time of death, when he went into energy, he struggled to really fully transition. It took a while for them to come in and get him to fully move on. Because I'm seeing his energy like going round the ship.
I can. Well, he got besotted with it, wasn't he? Though, so you can imagine wanting to stay down there almost, like haunt it.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Well, yeah, because I'm energy now, and I can stay here as long as I want. Nothing can take me away.
Possibly. Interesting.
What's his name?
Oh, it began with N. Oh, let's have a look. Let me go right back. Nargile.
Yeah.
Nargile.
Pull some cards for him now. Or a card. Yeah, and the Knight of Cups fulfilling his dream. Watery energy. Not going off with the others when they transitioned. I will take another picture of all of this. He is still partially attached to the wreckage. And his guides will keep coming in and they'll keep asking, are you ready to come? But he will go if he wants to go, unless someone like me comes along and sends him off.
Paul Henry Nargile.
That's the Henry Paul one, isn't it?
Hamish Harding. Shahzada Darwood.
You don't even try and pronounce these
Darwood.
names.
Was a young lad. Solomon.
And that's when you say that was it, Gary?
I think so, yeah,
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I think it's a subject we can go on and on and on and on and on and talk about it. But I think we've done enough for today.
Yeah, I think, we could talk about past lives and things like that all the time and surmise, but it does make some form of sense that they were drawn down there and it all led to that one pop, as it were.
And even like...
right next to the Titanic, for them to drop right next to it.
Yeah.
It could have gone wrong and it could have spiralled out and gone miles away from the Titanic. But it literally went right next to the wreckage. Yeah. It was meant to go there, wasn't it?
Yes. Interesting. We can have an atom when we get back from Belfast. Because we're going to the Titanic Museum at Belfast.
Yeah, hopefully, if we can get there.
Yeah.
We've not worked it out yet, have we?
We'll do it.
We'll sort
Anyway,
something out.
we have a playlist on here called Psychic Investigations. If you want to catch up, please do. Work your way through them. If you get to the end of this video and you want to leave a comment but not sure what to put, leave us a boat emoji. A boat
submarine
emoji.
one, if there is one.
He's off adding loads of emojis in.
Love, heart, anything.
God, he's off.
A diver, maybe.
Thanks for
A
watching.
loud explosion.
Bang. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And we will see you soon. Bye.
So long.